Live. Oh, it's gonna be a rough morning. It's gonna be a rough morning. I didn't make no coffee. I ain't even got no water. And I'm on some nonsense this morning.
We have all of that in the lobby for you. Would you like me to make you a cup of coffee?
No.
I need you cool and calm and collective this morning.
Jay just gave me some water.
Good.
I'm gonna need it. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show this morning. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are, listening to Say Something Real. And before I get on my journey to foolishness, let me say good morning to my folks in the studio. Ride out. What's happening, player?
Well, here it comes. It's
a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
And this moment in your Black history.
Sponsored by AJ Liquor.
Sponsored by AJ Liquor. I want the people to know that Anna May, I was the first church mother to sell chicken dinners for the church.
Who?
Anna May, I sell chicken dinners for the church. And because of you, Anna May, there's so many little churches all across the world. Thank you.
It's so many little churches.
Know your moment in Black history. Sponsored by AJ Liquor.
This boy here need prayer.
Know your history.
Anna May.
Anna May.
That's
it. The first church mother to cook and sell chicken dinners for the church. Amen. And because of you, there's so many little bitty churches.
Little bitty churches.
Little bitty churches was built because of you. Know your moment in history. Anna May, thank you.
Little bitty church.
Little bitty church. Up on a hill.
Boy.
Up on a hill.
Boy, your mama dropped you on your head. I ain't lying.
No,
my
several
God.
times.
What'd you say? Several times.
Anna May, I thank you for your contribution to the church.
And you just made that up.
Yeah, it just come to me. Know your history.
But in all honesty,
we
there
need
was
to know
one
yours.
somebody.
We need to know yours.
I don't know if that was her name, but there was one somebody was the first mother to sell chicken dinners.
I'll tell you. It's
now,
Anna
you
May.
remember our at our church, Mano, it was Mother Cook.
Yeah, Mother Cook.
And ironically, she could cook. Mother Cook would cook up behind all.
Yeah, she could cook.
Till that one Sunday she made that dressing and everybody got sick.
Everybody got sick, yeah. Say she was the first mother to cause the whole church to go to the emergency room.
Yeah, that whole pan of dressing had
know your history.
Is this a real person? Y'all
yeah,
she did.
She gone on, God bless her.
She gone on to be with the Lord.
I'm like, I know y'all ain't say this. Somebody still alive.
And she didn't die from that pan of dressing, but there were several people that thought they were gonna leave here. Monday morning, we had a church dinner, bring the family dinner.
Hey,
the dressing that sat down there in Saba while we was up there in the spirit.
She got up to heaven, and Jesus was like,
"You all right, but you can't cook no dressing.
You know better than that.
You know what? Y'all two are the raggediest.
Know your history.
You can come in, but no dressings. No dressings allowed.
Hey, Shelby. Y'all two are the raggediest people I have.
You know, when the pastor was sick, My two aunties, they were sick. Everybody had to run. Everybody had to run.
First mother in church history.
Yeah, they called a church meeting behind that.
Yeah.
I'm serious. The pastor said, if you handle food, you can't handle no money.
I just told somebody yesterday. I said, yeah, them Negroes go too far. You can't trust.
He made me think of that when he said, Anna May.
I'm telling you, Anna May is the first church mother.
You can't trust him. I just told somebody about that yesterday. They said, I said, no, they go too far. They go too far. I done called the lady name.
Well, no, she deceased.
Her kids,
I don't think she got no.
Is out here. Her folks
That's
is
all
out
right. Then they might have been there that Sunday too. Then they know.
Their stomach was hurting too.
Hey, they were sick too. Yeah.
Y'all ain't no good, man. Debo, do I need to ask how you doing this morning?
She said, Darren, you in there? I said, sure is. She said, you need to come out. I can't right now. Well, I need to get in. Well, I don't know what to tell you, but I can't come out right now. Yeah, but
all of this was behind the dressing.
Yeah, oh yeah. They did a full investigation, and they come back and discovered that the dressing had soured
FDA.
While we was having
While we was in there
service.
shouting.
Yeah, we was shouting and praising the
Have-
Lord, and the Lord said, "I got something for you."
Have
Yeah.
I said I can't stand you? Have I said it?
Yeah, well, if they
I just
had,
want to be clear.
well, come on now.
Y'all so raggedy.
Look.
Man. Oh my God.
See, this ain't no made up stuff. This
It
really
is made up.
happened.
Good
No,
morning,
that really
Alex.
happened. That really happened.
You know what?
But no, let me start by saying good morning to you, and I am so proud of you today.
Oh, here we go.
No, I want the listeners to know because there were so many that chimed in on yesterday when I was getting on you about your coat, and I want to give you all an update. She came in with the church coat on.
Amen.
Church coat. Negro, I ain't had no church coat on.
No, she came in with her coat on this morning and looked very, very warm and well protected from the elements and so
Yeah.
forth. And I was just so proud. And I wanted to just say that because
Did you want to just say that?
really, Michelle. See,
Would
this
you
is,
be remiss if you didn't say that?
yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't. But I'm going to digress for now.
And do what?
Leave me alone. I'm done.
That's the
That's the way I ended it.
Back to you, Michelle.
There you go, Dwayne. Back to you, Michelle.
I'm gonna digress for now. Man, this is what the ancestors was working for right here for y'all too.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know what to do. Let me just let people know. Somebody said good morning. I'm listening to the show and eating a bowl of cream of wheat. Don't call here.
That's what I'm talking
Don't
about.
start. Don't start.
Bring me a
Don't
bowl
start with that foolishness
with some
this morning.
toast. Bring me a bowl.
And I like the way people passive aggressive
Yeah,
start their foolishness.
yeah, I like
You
that.
know, some cream of wheat.
malted
Hey.
meal is good too.
No,
Don't
we ain't
start
doing
it.
malted
We ain't
meal.
doing it.
We doing cream of wheat
I'm
with
not
some toast
doing.
and go get some Jimmy Dean sausages.
So
Bring me
you see
two
how
of
you just started this mess, right? You
Mhm.
see,
I'm telling you, it's true.
y'all get on my
Man, a
nerves.
little malto meal
I'm not. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
with the
not.
cinnamon, please. You hurt yourself up in
Cream
there.
of wheat, Doc.
Not doing it with y'all. I gotta move on. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, early voting has started in Wisconsin. Y'all can vote out Debo and vote out Jermaine.
No,
If you-
wrong election.
Hey.
See, now y'all done started a war.
Hey.
Cream of wheat. Somebody just said the only legit hot breakfast cereal is grits. Like,
Man, please.
we done started the war.
Man, please.
You know, we got a crisis in the Middle East.
We arguing over cream of wheat.
They about to shut down all the HBCUs. We ain't about to have no
Somebody
IRS.
said grits and brown sugar.
What?
They said grits and brown sugar in it on my
Weapons
phone.
of mass
No.
distraction. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This
Grits and brown sugar.
Brown
Grits
sugar.
and brown. Hey, I didn't.
I do brown sugar with oatmeal though.
What's
Huh?
supposed to be?
Oh well.
That goes.
Oh well, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not.
yeah. I would say
So
grits.
why can't it go
Grits,
with?
grits don't go with brown sugar.
I mean, grits tastes like it's little pebbles in there, man.
Again, we're not gonna do this. We already did this before.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
We heard your whole traumatic story. We
Yeah.
ain't doing it again.
Quaker
We're
Oats, Quaker Oats, and Tennessee Pride sausages. That's what one of
Jimmy
the
Dean, man.
folks
Jimmy
chimed
Dean.
in on. Happiness Donuts said
Hey, Tennessee Pride is good. too.
Tennessee
Yeah,
Pride is
Tennessee
better
Pride
than Jimmy Dean.
is
Yeah,
better than Jimmy
yeah.
Dean.
I don't like Jimmy
Yeah.
Dean's consistency.
Now, what about the
Yeah.
old folk? I like them old folk sausage too.
Yeah, the old folks is good.
What is
They just
old
come in the
folks?
That's a
yellow package.
brand. It's old
That
folk.
was-
That's the name of a brand of sausage?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Old folks?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you find those?
Man, several places you can find them at.
Well,
They-
probably
they-
down south now.
I've
No, they
never
here in
seen.
Milwaukee.
Because I haven't seen them here lately.
Oh, well, I haven't
I'm
looked
getting
lately.
ready. Yes, Barbara. I see Barbara got on. Will I be discussing the event last night at Villa Library? I will. But yeah, what is old folks?
That's a brand.
I've never heard of that. Let me see.
What about Swaggerty? Have you heard of those?
Yep,
Now they good too.
I like Swaggerty.
Yeah.
They because I bought a whole box of them.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
somebody
do.
said I can get it at Woodman's.
What the old folks?
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
it's
Y'all
they're good.
cracking me up on this. Oh, it's old. Okay,
It's
I-
a yellow package, right?
I've never.
No, I'm trying to remember the packaging. I think it's blue and
Yellow
white box.
red or something like that.
Okay, I'm
Because
actually
they
gonna
have
go
a
buy
hot-
some now because I don't know nothing about
They
this.
have a hot, which is a red and white package.
Yeah.
and I
I'm
think
not up
the
on
regular
it.
is blue and white.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go buy
sure
some.
is. Sure, yeah.
I just said, look, that's what I'm sorry. I know you is sorry. It started all this mess.
Yeah.
Oh, they said you can get it at Pete's too. Thank you, Solis.
Mhm.
Okay. So early voting has started again. If you'd like to remove Debo and Jermaine from office, you should have gotten your ballot in the mail. If you do absentee, they have begun to arrive, I think more than a week ago now. And in-person early voting started on February 4th. So, most people will only have one thing on their primary ballot. The primary election is February 18th. And I know I put up my address. You can simply go to my vote. What is it? myvote.gov or something else. You would think I would know that by heart by now. But I don't. But you can go to myvote.wi.gov and you can put in your address. It will tell you what's on your ballot. You can track your ballot there. You can update your information, find out your polling location if you wait to vote on February 18th. Because remember, the early voting location sites are not where you vote on election day. We go through this every election cycle. Early voting sites are not where you necessarily vote on election day. So, simple enough to find out. The only thing I have on my ballot is the state Supreme Court race. Let me look and see. Let me look and see. I'm gonna put my address in just one more time, just to make sure I'm good. 10. There we go. But in the midst of getting ready for the upcoming election. Okay, so yep, on my ballot, the only thing I have, I said state Supreme Court, I think messed up on that. The superintendent race, the DPI superintendent of public instruction for the state of Wisconsin. That's the only thing that's on my ballot. And there are 3 people that are running for those for that position: Dr. Jeff Wright, Brittany Kinzer, and I think Jill Underly may be a doctor. I'm not sure. But Jill Underly. Jill Underly is currently the incumbent. And from last night, what I saw of Jeff Wright, a very interesting and credible candidate for folks that, and I've had a number of people that have reached out to me and said, Michelle, I don't know these people. Who should I be looking at? Where can I get more information? Each of them has a website where you can go and get information. I haven't visited the site, so I don't know how much they go into their platform, ideology, what kind of information they give. I possibly will take a look at it today so I can see what's on the website myself. But I know that the NAACP, Edgestar Consulting, which is owned by Dr. Lakeisha Myers. There were 2 other organizations at the table on this. They had intended to hold a forum in which people from the community here in the city of Milwaukee would have an opportunity to learn more about these candidates. They sent out invitations. They got responses from Jill Underly and Brittany Kinzer's camp that said, maybe after the primary, they, it seemed like they were just doing limited, maybe only one event by way of a forum leading into the primary. Jeff Wright responded that he would be happy to come, and he ended up coming to Villette Library last night, because the one thing I appreciated that the NAACP and Edgestar Consulting did, Dr. Myers did, they went on with the forum, even though only one candidate RSVP'd in the affirmative that they would attend. And let me tell you why I appreciate that. We are in a culture, and have been for a while, where candidates are deciding more often than not to engage with the public before primaries. They are limiting their public appearances in terms of an actual debate on the stage or a discussion on the stage with their opponents to one. So a major media outlet is doing it. I'm going to agree to one, and that's it. I remember as we were going through COVID, Tom Barrett would only agree to one debate with Lena. We have seen people decide, nope, I'm not going to come and do, talk radio until, I get ready. I'm not going to talk to people until I feel like it. And so frequently when groups try to hold forums and candidates refuse to come, they can't, and they cancel the entire forum. But usually you'll have one candidate who says, I'll come. But because you don't get everyone you want, you cancel the forum. You end up punishing the person who was willing to come and meet with the community. And the people who refuse to come, they are insulated because no one knows that they refuse to come. The committee doesn't tell people they refuse to come. And so the community has no idea that you were given an opportunity to come and address us and you chose not to do that. So I'm always of the mindset you ride with the people that show up. If somebody is willing to drive across the state to come and talk to your constituents, to to you as a voter, I'm looking at groups like, why would you cancel that? And so often people do. I see it all the time. If I got one, we're going to interview one and they're going to ask questions, but we have a responsibility as people who say we do civic engagement work, as people who say we do we have education as a priority, whatever your organization's mission is. If you also say we are somebody that wants to educate the public, if only one candidate shows up, you still go ahead and educate the public. So kudos to the NAACP, kudos to Dr. Myers for making sure, her and George Bledsoe over at the NAACP, for making sure that that event moved forward. And kudos and much respect to Jeff Wright and his team for coming. Now, this is the thing. I went Facebook Live from the event, and while in the building, there were probably about 12 to 15 people that were physically in the building. The NAACP ran it on their website. Rep Myers ran it on, or former state Rep Myers ran it on her website, or her Facebook page, and I ran it on mine, in addition to whoever else was doing it. So I know I've had more than 1,100 views of the video from my site. So that's the other thing, because people will say, well, it's only worthwhile coming if I'm going to get 50 to 100 people, a big crowd. With the advent of social media, while your room itself may have 20 people or whatever in it, what I'm doing in real time on Facebook and what people are now able to go back and see, more than 1,000 people. And if I combine all three pages, more than 2,000 people have seen last night's interview with Jeff Wright. So that's another thing for people to understand and to think about. I need to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about Jeff Wright last night, the interaction with them, feedback that I received from people, and then we'll roll all this other stuff in that's going on around us. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Be right back, y'all.
The passing of a loved one is emotional enough without adding the stress of funeral arrangements. By pre-planning, you receive the desires of your heart while taking away the burden from your family. It also saves you money, providing the dignity and respect your memory deserves. And there are times when life ends unexpectedly. Please know that the New Pitts Mortuary is here to lend a helping, caring hand anytime, day or night. We are the New Pitts.
Something Real with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. So before we went to the break, I was taking a moment to talk about the fact that last night, the NAACP, George Bledsoe, representing, and Dr. Lakeisha Myers, former state representative, who is an educator herself, they along, and I got to get the name of the other partner group that was involved because I don't want to forget Amanda's group, but they held a forum last night, had invited all three candidates that are running for DPI superintendent. Two of the candidates told them, call us after the primary, which basically meant, we ain't doing nothing. And Jeff Wright, Dr. Jeff Wright, who is running, he did come to the event. Yes.
How do you, as a candidate, even know that you'll make it through the primary?
That was my point. There are three people in this race. Only two of them are going to make it through the primary.
That's
and
crazy
so
to me.
There is a degree of almost arrogance in that, who says you're going to get through the primary?
But there's another way of looking at that too, I guess.
What?
If I make it through the primary, then I'm willing to talk, because it's a shot in the dark.
And yeah, I mean, like I said, I just think it's irritating. And I know that there are political consultants that are advising people to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, there's been a pattern of it historically, and the community has allowed it to happen. Because I'm not playing. You don't come talk to me, I'm not voting for you. I'm not voting for you. I don't give a damn. This is wrong. I don't care. You don't make time to talk to the constituents. I don't care if you need to send a representative, if you need to call in, but you cannot, particularly in this race, when so much is at stake and Black children are performing below everybody in the state.
You want to work for me, but you don't want to interview. Basically.
I mean, that was basically the same thing, and I'll say that about a whole bunch of these people. I'll say it all the way to the Senate race, with Dora Drake. You ran. Yep. You running against my people, but I'm professional. I know how to do my damn job. I got listeners on this show, but you never brought your behind to this show to talk to the people that listen to me. Because everybody that listen to me don't necessarily listen to Keith, don't necessarily listen to Qua or whatever. And the thing that makes it so even more offensive, you my senator. You would be my senator, Michelle Bryant's senator. And the chicks see me now out in public and don't even speak. And I'm like, how the hell you want to lead and you don't even have the balls to speak to somebody because you was in a race against somebody that's my family, that's my people. Like, I just, all of it is so frustrating. And since I'm mentioning Dora Drake, let me just say this. I saw the clip from Channel 12. They had the Black History Month program up at the state capitol. The man who started Black History Month's name was not Dr. Carter.
Mr. Carter.
Mr. Carter. Because as the chair of the Black Caucus and the senator of the 4th Senate District, the Senate district that started the Black History Month program, me and Lena Taylor, you stand at the podium and say, we want to thank Mr. Carter for starting Black History Month. His name is Carter G. Woodson. When I tell you that irked my soul, it irked my whole soul. Because these are people that have traditionally not really even gave a damn about Black History Month. Half behind programming, little to nothing going on. It irked my whole soul. That you didn't even catch that you were saying that the person who founded Black History Month or Negro History Week, we want to thank Mr. Carter. I was like, who the hell is Mr. Carter?
Carter Drugstore.
That's exactly. I went, Lester Carter. Who are we thanking? Why are we thanking Mr. Carter for starting Black History Month? His name is Carter G. Woodson.
So if anything,
while we stand
Mr.
here
Woodson,
in all of our proud
anything,
glory as chair of the Black Caucus, his name is Carter G. Woodson. That's his name. That's his name. It's Carter G. Woodson. So anyway, people are getting to the point that they think it's okay to diss voters, diss constituents. And, this is the thing. Well, because, it's going to be uncomfortable. They don't like me. Da, 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 da. When you leading, when you step up and say, I want to lead, you go where you got to go. Period.
It's going to be some uncomfortable rooms.
Period. Because if you think I'm a problem, when you got to get across the room from these other folks that's doing everything they can to smash Milwaukee, you don't need to be there. You don't need to be there. These people are cutthroat. And if you too weak in the knees to talk to people that you don't like, or, blah, 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 I don't need you. So I appreciated that Jeff Wright showed up. Again, given the fact that these scores for Black children in the state of Wisconsin, abysmal. 9% in one of the proficiency areas between reading and math. 9%. Jesus Christ. How can we have a proficiency rating of 9%? And when somebody like a leading Black organization like the NAACP call you to say, we want to talk to y'all, you get blown off. Our children, right here in the city of Milwaukee, performing the worst in the state. A leading Black civil rights organization reaches out and says, we having a forum, and you say, holler at me after the primary. Like, all of that irritated me. So Jeff Wright shows up. One of the things that ends up happening is he got the floor. Representative Myers came, or former state representative Myers came with a set of questions for him. As an educator, she knows and understands issues about the system that many of us as lay people don't. And then it was opened up to people in the room. Again, I went on Facebook Live. You can see it there. I'm not a professional videographer, as some woman wanted to point out, who live in New Berlin, who sound like she married to a white man and probably is a Republican, because she wanted to make sure that everybody knew that Representative Myers was not a representative anymore. Like, you don't think we know that? But you knew to the group.
Isn't it true that as long as she shall live, she can be referred to as a former
people always do that. They
former
always
president,
do that.
Former whatever,
Exactly. You're going to always refer to people in that capacity. So whoever this woman was from New Berlin, who was a sister with a last name like Slaminsky, you already know she was on some Republican nonsense. But the interview and the conversation is what it was. And what I appreciated about Jeff Wright when they opened it up, he wanted to hear from people who were in the room. Tell me who you are, where you went to school, tell me something about you, because that's the first sign of good leadership. He wanted to understand who he was talking to. Mm-hmm. He wanted to set up the room that this is not all about me, that we are here to dialogue. And so that was the very first thing he did, which I thought, because I've been in enough rooms, I facilitate enough, meetings. I know somebody who understands how to work a room. And that's exactly what happened. So people, provided that information. I found it interesting because I didn't know anything about Jeff Wright. He is from Sauk Prairie. He is the superintendent of their school system. I didn't know anything about him. I was surprised when I learned. And I'm going to tell you, because I have my own reservations, because I'm tired of getting state superintendents from these small little bitty towns in Wisconsin that's over the entire state's education system. The challenges and the unique things that we face in Milwaukee, I just need superintendents that got a different level of experience. I really do, in terms of the breadth of experience. So I was surprised to learn that Jeff Wright had been a principal in Chicago High School for 9 years. And evidently Southside Chicago, I think if I remember it correctly, but, he talked about his experiences being in Chi, working with the students, people not sure if it was going to work. And it was like, just hang in there. We're going to do okay. Talked about even the improvement in graduation rates for students in Chicago, that they've gone up by 25%. And, you hear him make connections to children seeing themselves represented in classrooms, and talked about visits from influential African Americans, Bernice King, Dr. King's former speechwriter, and like, no, my students have to meet you, and bringing these people in. But he talked about the ability to also get beyond the gridlock that's in Madison, and to be able to figure out how to work with both Republicans and Democrats in this particular role. He talked about Sauk Prairie being a purple community, in that, you got, a fairly even split between Republicans and Democrats, and the ability to be able to navigate that terrain to get stuff done for the students that we serve. One of the things I said to him is that when it was my opportunity to ask a question, we are in a highly polarized political and partisan, environment right now. I know you know that. How do you navigate? And so he talked about and gave examples of times when he's had to work across those political aisles and be able to move people to the center to be able to come to a consensus. Very, very knowledgeable. He was impressive to a lot of people that had an opportunity to see him. So I will just tell people, as you are continuing to make your decisions about the DPI role, that I would encourage you to check out my Facebook page. It's not, it's Michelle Videos. For people that watch me on Facebook, sometimes I move the camera super fast. I do whatever I'm doing. But I just want to make sure that people have the information. So that was over at Villard Library yesterday. And for the people that came out, and I saw a number of faces, folks that are listeners to the show, thank you for being interested in. And these are people that, they don't have immediate young children. They may have grandchildren that's in the school district, but people wanted to know. And so I'm very, very thankful and appreciative to the organizations that brought that, and that I had an opportunity to attend. The other thing I will say real quickly, over at Villard Library, I just want to give a shout out to the people that run the library over there. They do a great job. We've had a number of things there over the years, but when I was leaving, and I love books, I adore books. And I'm not an ebook person. I want my book in my hand. I want to, bend the pages. I want to turn the pages. I love books. And so there was this great display of these gold packages with red heart stickers on them and little descriptions. And I was like, what is this? So I looked over, and they had done this display basically, and I don't have the exact name of it in front of me, but it was like basically have a blind date with a book. And I was like, a blind date with a book? What is this? So one of I'm assuming she's a librarian, but one of the staff over at Villard Library took the time to pick out all these great books, wrapped them in gold paper, so you don't know the title of the book or anything like that. But then she put a sticker on it, and it says, the one I got, it says romance, small town charm, funny banter, likable characters, a bounce back story. And so I checked out this book, sight unseen. I don't know anything at all, but I'm going to read it. And I just thought it was a great idea. So innovate. And I ended up seeing the staffer who had the idea. So make sure that you are also getting to the library. This month, there are tons of amazing books. These libraries have done a great job over here at Atkinson. I know they just had a program this past weekend, well attended from what I understand, that, they're highlighting the history and the culture. The books are easily accessible and on display. So please, 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 please support our libraries and make sure, that these folks, the work that they're doing, that we value it and appreciate it. Another thing that I want to do real quick, just by way of announcements, before I get into some of these stories. Fred Nelson and the folks over at Employ Milwaukee wanted you all to know that on February 11th, there is going to be a manufacturing hiring event. So if you are looking for a job in manufacturing, Employ Milwaukee from 3 to 5 p.m. next Tuesday, February 11th, is having a event. For more information, you can reach out to Frederick Nelson over at Employ Milwaukee. That phone number 414-270-1738. Again, that's 414-270-1738. Or you can email him Frederick, FREDERICK .Nelson at employmilwaukee.org. And this event, they're called Fair Chance Thursdays. So I think that even if you are somebody that may have a previous record by way of a felony or whatever criminal record, don't let that be prohibited from you coming to the event to apply for a job. They do a great deal of work to try to make sure that everybody can be in the workplace. The other thing that they're doing, and I got time to talk about this one, but I just want to mention it since I got both in front of me, the Father's Legal Rights Night. Get legal advice, learn about driver's license recovery. This is February 18th, 3 to 5 p.m., Employ Milwaukee. And they say, are you a parent who has questions concerning child support? Questions about the impact of owing arrears? What do you do when the non-custodial parent is not paying? How do you modify a support order? All of that information is available as well. So those two events, Frederick Nelson is the contact for both. So I just want to make sure that people understand that. And somebody said, I haven't heard you mention the Supreme Court race between Crawford and Schimmel. I'm actually working on that. I will be dealing with that. And there's an interesting article in the paper today. Brad Schimmel's team got caught altering the photo of Judge Crawford to try to make her look unattractive in their marketing and advertising. So yeah, just a whole raggedy hot mess. But they went out of their way to try to make Judge Crawford. Yeah, they just a mess. They just a mess. And people do it but the only thing most people do, they'll take a color photo and make it a black and white photo.
Yeah, that changes the whole.
Yeah, it changes the look.
Yeah.
But no, they actually seems like they did more to alter her appearance in the photo.
Is she good looking?
Well, why would I?
I mean, no, I'm only
like
asking.
A mustache on her or something?
You know what?
Raleigh Faker?
No, I'm asking.
I'm not.
I'm asking in the sense it's like taking a picture of Michelle Bryant.
I'm not doing it with either one of you.
I'm
not doing it with either one of you.
Neither one. I'm just saying. I don't understand the purpose of that.
Not doing it. Just another quick thing. I got time to talk about it, but I'll put it on your radar. Dr. Myers is doing a film series for Black History Month. So over at Good Hope Library, which will accommodate both of these, there will be a film screening. One movie is called Punch 9 for Harold Washington, and it is a story of Harold Washington, elected in 1983 as Chicago's first African-American mayor, the political battles he fought, and his legacy to Chicago and the nation. The lessons we can learn for the way Black people work together to get Harold Washington across the finish line, nothing short of amazing. So that's happening on Monday, February 17th, 5:30 to 7:30. And then on Monday, February 24th, she's doing a screening of the movie A Question of Faith. When tragedy strikes three families, their destiny forces them on a converging path to discover God's love, grace, and mercy, as the challenges of their fate could also resurrect their beliefs. So this is another opportunity to have a discussion. And so again, I'll bring those up. I'll get her in for an interview, ask her why she chose those two, but just know that that's also happening. Finally, and then I'll be done with the kind of information piece of the show this morning, and we can get into some of the topics. But I saw a story. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I've mentioned it but I just have to take a second, because there was a story that Elon Musk had put on his fake Twitter that he had deleted the IRS direct file. Okay, so I had to go look, and I'm taking this story from USA Today. The average American who hires a tax preparer to file even a simple return will spend upwards of $200, according to industry estimates. This year, however, taxpayers have more options than ever to avoid that expense, or maybe not. The most noteworthy new program for free tax preparation, IRS Direct File, came under fire this week from Elon Musk, who tweeted Monday that the service had been, quote, deleted. Democrats and Republicans in Congress are battling over its future. You wouldn't think that a free tax prep service would fall prey to partisan politics. Then again, this is no ordinary presidential transition. With that important caveat out of the way, here are 5 ways to prepare and file your tax return without spending a dime. You can go to IRS Direct File. The Direct File is a new IRS program that allows millions of Americans with uncomplicated taxes to file returns at no cost. Piloted in a dozen states last year, Direct File expanded to 25 states in 2025. Wisconsin is one of those states now. So you can, if you got an an income tax return, you're not doing a house, you're not doing, itemizations. It's a simple tax return. You can file for free at IRS Direct File. Elon Musk, and they said the IRS says 30 million taxpayers qualify to use this free service this year. So anyone should be able to use it because it's a pretty straightforward system, they say. But this is what Elon Musk and Republicans were trying to kill. The program has been mired in controversy. Private tax preparation companies lobbied against it. So understand, because the question would be, why is anybody mad that you can file for free a simple tax return directly to the IRS? You don't have to go through Free Tax USA, which really is not free, because once you do your preparation to be able to e-file it, you have to pay like $14.95 or whatever you do. You got to pay for it. So why would you be against that? Because there are companies that make tons and tons and tons of money on tax preparation. We see the little po people out here with the little sign twirling and them Liberty clown costumes on, come in here, Dedico, trying to get people to come in and file their taxes with these companies that's based in the community that charge crazy fees for people who use their systems. So there are private tax preparation companies who are against Americans being able to file for free. And I want to be clear, most of the people who use these little shops, up and down Capitol, Fond du Lac, North Avenue, all those places we see these little tax preparation, most of these are low income people who have simple tax returns. You should not be paying a whole bunch of money, but you pay a fee because they'll give you an advance on your tax return. It is predatory in nature. They see these low income people coming and they straight up, like you shaking your head.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I actually had this conversation with some people that it's like that they're straining the poor people, like they're trying to get as much.
Everybody
as
is
they
a
can
poverty
get out.
pimp.
Yeah, and it's like they're straining them because they know, just like some of these stores, that they raise the prices, or for the people that don't know that when you use your card, it's supposed to be 25 cents that they charge, but some of these people are charging 50 and 75 cents to these people in the neighborhoods because they don't know.
For using what kind of card? Like a debit card or something?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, if there's a way to scam, scheme, and make money
Yeah.
off people who have the least money to give,
Yeah.
poverty pimps, that's a real
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I believe in it.
Yeah.
And so because these companies have high-powered lobbyists, they go into Republican lawmakers and they want them to kill the program. Same thing we see with predatory lending, payday loans, all that kind of, rhythm, which is we want to be able to charge 600% interest on a $300 payday loan. And you got people in the legislators' offices lobbying, oh, we're going to write you a campaign contribution too. Our PAC is going to give you some money, however it works. But that's what's happening. And so these companies are doing everything they can to get Donald Trump to get rid of this program. And they're saying that the IRS is acting as both a tax collector and a tax preparer. All of that's nonsense. They just don't want people to be able to use the system for free. So you got billionaires like Elon Musk, who I'm sure does not pay his fair share in taxes, walking around trying to strip away a program that would help low-income filers most often be able to file their taxes for free. Just think about that. So all of this crying that folks was doing about why they wanted Trump in office, he was going to look out for the little guy. He was going to help, people. Here's something that helps the little guy. And he's letting the richest man in the world decide that low-income filers don't need this free service. And these wealthy tax preparation companies don't want these people to have it. So Republicans are fighting to take that away, even from the constituents they represent. I just need y'all to remember that. I got to go to break. I'll be right back.
Now, back to Say Something Real with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
It's the 40 days leading up to Easter. Our church is going to be in a fast of 40 days of consistent prayer. Come on, I can't hear nobody. I said 40 days of consistent prayer. Lent starts on Wednesday, March the 5th. And for 40 consecutive days, our church will be in prayer. Some of those days will be here in person, other days will be virtually, other days will be on the phone, but 40 consistent days of prayer. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, I am calling us, listen to me, because we have to operate in the spiritual. I am calling the conscientious Christian community all over this country, the conscientious Christian community all over this country. I am calling for a 40-day fast from Target. Beginning on March the 5th. 100,000 conscientious Christians. You don't have to be black, Latino, Asian, white, 100,000. You're going to sign this commitment to be a part of this 40-day fast. 100,000 of you bare minimal. I'm asking you that after service, you'll go to targetfast.org. Targetfast.org. I want you to share with everybody on your job, every person in your home, every person in your sphere of influence, every person who follows you on social media. I am believing for 100,000 people are going to sign this covenant commitment of not just prayer, but fasting from Target. Here's what is amazing. Listen to me, because what we learned from the Montgomery bus boycott is that racist America doesn't respond to speeches. They respond to dollars. Come on, and if they start losing $29 million a day for 40 days, we will break the back of the system. I want to go on record that not only am I asking you to fast for 40 days from Target, I am telling you to sell all of your Target stock. I want the stock to go down because we are standing in righteous indignation against racism and sexism in this nation. I hear the naysayers, I hear the pundits, I hear those who are detractors saying, how will this impact our black businesses? I'm glad you asked. You at New Birth, you're not at that church. So as a consequence, when it is that you register to be a part of this 40-day fast, we have come into partnership with the National Black Chamber of Commerce. National Black Chamber of Commerce CEO is here with us on the day. Brother Busby, would you please stand? Thank you so very much for being with us from Washington, D.C. Listen to me very carefully. When you register for this fast, we will send you a digital directory of 300,000 black businesses in America, where you can do your business instead of going to Target. Y'all not saying anything to me. You can buy black-owned paper towels and toilet paper and soap and dishwashing detergent. Do you know what it's going to be for America when we start shifting our own economic ecosystem and start investing in ourselves? Let me further say to all of the black vendors who presently have products in Target, we are not starting for 30 days because I want you to have enough time to shift all of your product digitally so that the community will be able to support you. Your business will not fail and your family will not suffer. Additionally, every black business that is not in the Black Chamber of Commerce, you got 30 days because the fast does not start until March the 3rd. I need Target to be on a full alert because we are operating in decency and in order. We are operating in decency and in order. We are operating in decency and in order. I'm going to say it again. We're operating in decency and in order. I'm saying this before they got a new FBI chief that calls us a terrorist organization. We doing it in decency and in order. Target, you got 40 days to pull it together because you made a commitment after the death of George Floyd that you would invest $2 billion into the black community before, watch this, December of 2025. So you to pull out of that commitment in January, you are reneging to the financial commitment you made to our people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You got 40 days before we shut all of it down. We are calling all of the stockholders to be accountable to the commitment that you made to black people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And I got naysayers saying, won't you just preach the gospel? I'm preaching the gospel. Jesus kicked over tables and used the whip to drive people out when they were out of order in handling God's people. Hey, be seated.
Well-known Metro Atlanta.
All right, family. Yesterday, I had a conversation as we talk about Black History Month and the significance of the role of the Black church from our very inception in this country. All of the great movements that move the needle for Black people can be directly traced back to, have included, have been created, planned with the leadership, frequently from the faith community. And I had talked about the fact that I was raising the question yesterday, how many Black churches today can be seen as a place where we go as a community to get the assignment, to understand the work? How do we move as a unit to protect our civil rights, to protect our human rights, to educate our children? And, you know, yesterday I had some folks call in and say, hey, Michelle, at our church, we got job training. At our church, we got a food bank. We got a clothing, giveaway. We got, and hey, that's not what I'm talking about, y'all. That is very different from what Pastor Jamal Bryant down at New Birth Church in Atlanta is talking about. Don't get me wrong. I said it yesterday. We need both. But there have been church after church that has walked away from the civil rights side of what our faith institutions have traditionally meant to us. They play it safe. They don't want to rattle no cages. I'm getting federal money. I'm getting government help. The only way my programs stay open is because I get these dollars. I can't be out here in these streets with y'all, Michelle. I can't be talking about protests. I can't be talking about, hey. At some point, we're going to have to make a decision and draw a line in the sand. Target is just one company. I just went to the website, targetfast.org. I put in my information. I am now trying to access the portal with these businesses. It asks me for what type of business I'm looking for and my location. This is also that piece where Reuben Hopkins has always talked to people about being connected to a chamber, because people need an official place to go and find Black-owned companies. So we have the Black Chamber of Commerce and the African American Chamber of Commerce here in Milwaukee. Now, I'm going to tell you, one is more active than others in terms of some of the stuff that I see. One caters to one set of people, I think, and one caters to another. But it's enough Black businesses that you can get support from either. But the idea that folks are now saying we need to move as a unit, we need to move collectively. 100,000 people, in one of the clips, Jamal Bryant talked about that Black people spend $12 million. I think he said, I don't know if it was a day. It was some ridiculous number. I'll go back and look at the story with Target specifically. Specifically, our buying power is ignorant. And just shifting those dollars can make all the difference in the world in terms of getting people to respect, honor, and incorporate us into their policies and into their workplaces. So that's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So kudos to Jamal Bryant, Pastor Jamal Bryant, for what he's doing. And unfortunately, it takes those national voices, people who have those kinds of platforms, to get the kind of attention that you need to be able to spark a movement. And we'll see. We'll see if there are local churches here in Milwaukee that join, that encourage their members to join. We'll see. But if you don't join, and then people, well, anybody got to do what Jamal doing? We got our own thing. We'll do it then. But do something that speaks to the civil rights side, because that's what's under attack right now. That's what's under attack. All the job training in the world don't mean nothing if the folks is blocking you from getting the job like they used to do back in the day. We got to do both, y'all. All right. Let me also take a second and discuss something that when I saw it yesterday, talking about the Black church and doing something. The Proud Boys. Some of y'all already know where I'm going. There was a church that had signage out in front of their church right after the George Floyd situation, in which they said Black Lives Matter. Okay. And some members of the Proud Boys decided to go by this church, which was the Metropolitan African American Methodist Episcopal Church in Washington, D.C., and tear up the signage and damage their property because they were pissed off that the church had out something saying that they supported Black Lives Matter. So the church sued the organization that attacked their property, which was the Proud Boys. Back in 2023, the church won a $2.8 million default judgment against the group, but then sought, and this the power move. They sought control of the trademark after the Proud Boys failed to pay the judgment. What did they get? They got the name. So the Proud Boys, and you can find photos of them with their hats on. Their colors is black and gold. And they got like a little crest and got the PB and spelled out on some stuff, Proud Boys, and they got masks. Like you go into a some kind of party and you got your mask on, black and gold mask, and they Proud Boys logo is all on everything. The Black church in DC now owns the Proud Boys name. And if the Proud Boys step out in their gear, in their little t-shirts, because they were selling stuff online. You could buy your little Proud Boys paraphernalia. You could buy all that you wanted to. Metropolitan AME Church now owns the Proud Boy name. That's what I'm talking about. And the church rightfully could be fearful because you could be worried that these ignorant people are going to try to attack your church. your congregants, your property. But I listened to an interview that one of the folks from the church did on, Judge Taylor's listening. She said default judgment means they didn't come to court. They definitely didn't have a lawyer. And I was reading that in the story. So I was listening to one of the I don't know if it was the pastor of the church, one of the members from the church, but they was like, yeah, my granddaddy used to say, it ain't no rabbits up in here. I was like, it ain't no rabbits up in here. We ain't running. We ain't running. How many churches we got strong like that in Milwaukee? We ain't running. Are we all up in it? Mm-hmm. You talking about messing over black folks? Yeah, we Johnny on the spot. We all up in it. You talking about our kids not graduating? We all up in it. You talking about, you getting ready to get rid of black history in the curriculum as the church? We all up in it. Like, when I tell you, it was, because remember when the woman had to sue the KKK because they killed her son and she got control of their little main headquarters? A black woman owns the KKK headquarters. Like, it just don't get no better than that. For the amount of ways that you can get some redress for crimes committed against you, it's amazing to me. It's wonderful to me. Oh my God, a black woman owns the KKK headquarters. Now, the Proud Boys and Enrique, the Mexican fool that runs around doing all the bidding on behalf of white folks' racism, Lula Mae Donalds. Thank you. A page right out of Lula Mae Donald's book. She owns the Klan building in Alabama after her son Michael was lynched. Yes. Judge Taylor's listening. She said yes, just like Ezekiel Gillespie used the courts. Yes. See, that's why it is important, y'all, that we understand how to fight. And that we do have resources, and that we don't just sit back on our head and say, these folks gonna do what they want to do. Yeah, if we let them, they're gonna continue to do what they're doing if we don't fight back, if we don't push back. The black church got a role to play in this, y'all. And I'm gonna say it again. If you go to church every Sunday and you sitting up in that church, tell me what y'all do through the week, because this is some of the most expensive real estate in the black community. Tell me what y'all do during the week. When some people say the church is utilized basically for service and maybe for choir rehearsal and not a whole bunch in between. Tell me what you do to advance not just individual well-being. They got some food, they got some clothes, they got some job training, they got license recovery. But what you doing to help with the civil rights, the voting rights, the big picture human rights of what it means to be black in this country? I'm not trying to clown nobody. I'm just saying, let's review what we're doing and figure out where we can do more. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm talking about. Because it has been the black church in a lot of cases that has been the vehicle that has gotten us through. And we need y'all. We have always needed the black church. Whether I believe in God or not, I understand the power that is in the black church. And so do all these people. That's why I said yesterday, you got white folks now trying to figure out how to infiltrate the black church, putting up black faces like it's leadership when really it's connected to white faith organizations, and buying up properties and former black churches and setting up shop. And we supposed to be dumb and not know what's happening, because that's one place where black political power has actually been, whether the black church acknowledges that they have been a political power base or not. Y'all have been. Most of the significant black leaders come out of the church. I gotta go to break. I'll be right back.
The passing of a loved one is emotional enough without adding the stress of funeral arrangements. By pre-planning, you receive the desires of your heart while taking away the burden from your family. It also saves you money, providing the dignity and respect your memory deserves. And there are times when life ends unexpectedly. Please know that the New Pitts Mortuary is here to lend a helping, caring hand anytime, day or night. We are the New Pitts Mortuary.
Something Real with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. What you doing? What are you doing? I need all that to stop. All right, family, real quick before I went to the break, taking a second to talk about the engagement of the Black Church. Reverend Jamal Bryant from New Birth, out of Georgia, calling for a 40-day Target boycott. And yes, there is Walmart, and yes, there is, we got Wisconsin companies that are part of this. McDonald's. I'm waiting for the boycott call on McDonald's. Oh, that'll be a good one. Because it's so many people that utilize these services. You got to start somewhere. So, talking about activism, what it looks like. Got a caller on the line. Let's get them in. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Yes. Can I make a comment?
Of course.
I'm calling regarding the. I called Fox News this morning regarding the young lady that her body was dismembered, and I just made a statement to Fox News that it's overkill, and the family and the loved ones have to keep reliving it. And can they handle this in a better and a more of a professional way? Not keep saying the same thing over and over again. I know they kind of donate some money for a memorial site, but for them to keep saying the same thing over and over again, I said, and what about the other guy? That's not fair. If you're going to keep bringing up what happened to her, what's going on with the other guy, but can you be more professional about, how you going to want to raise money and not just keep saying the same thing about her body being dismembered, because the family, friends, and loved ones got to keep hearing the same thing over and over again. And my next statement is that the noise you hear right now is probably me in my truck. I don't have time to reach out to these people, but under Joe Biden administration, they had donated $47 million to Milwaukee for the homeless. And I'm just curious, where is that money at and how is it being spent? And hoping and praying that they're not taking that money and using it to renovate the county jail, like they're about to do now under Crowley and the rest of the crew down there. They finding money to rebuild downtown and high rises and choo-choo trains and whatever, but where's the money for the homeless and how's it being spent? I don't know where it's at, so maybe somebody out there know, because there was $47 million sent to Milwaukee under Joe Biden, and everything's been a little quiet. It's been quiet like a church mouse, so I want to just throw that out there. Maybe somebody listening may have better information where the money is at and how it's being spent, because there are a lot of people out here that's homeless, and they can take one of these buildings around here, one of these old school buildings, apartment buildings, and renovate it instead of having the guest house down there on 13th in the league, which gets crowded really fast. Instead of Salvation Army, they turn you away. But that $47 million, where is it?
All right. Well, I will take a second and tackle a little bit of that. And thank you for raising the issue about, thank you, bro. The Sade Robinson family. Like, you're right. People are re-traumatized every time you have to hear the gruesome details of what's happening. I think in the quest to try to educate people who may be tuning in for the first time, to help people understand the severity of what happened and why something is in the news cycle, that things can get said. But even myself, I have to catch the way I talk about, as I talked about the story on yesterday, to be as sensitive and conscientious of the fact that there are family members out there. So I appreciate you flagging that for them. Hopefully it'll have impact. In relationship to the $50 million in federal funding that Wisconsin received to address homelessness, this money came in from HUD under the Biden administration. It was a part of a $3.6 billion effort through a continuum of care program that awarded close to 7,000 housing-related projects across the country. So Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration puts up $3.6 billion to go to 7,000 housing related projects across the country. So in terms of Wisconsin has what they said is roughly about 4,907 people who are homeless on any given night, with 8 people who are homeless per 10,000, according to the National Alliance to End Homelessness. Funding will go towards various organizations and initiatives across the state, with significant amounts going toward Autumn West permanent housing, Home Link in Milwaukee, rental assistance, and supportive services in Madison. So when they said the various organizations, I clicked the link for that, and I'm able to tell you exactly where this money is going. So because it's going across the state, it didn't just come solely to Milwaukee. But I see awards: Brown County PSH individuals, $1 million. Let me see, Fox Cities. There are 5 pages of places where this $50 million is going. Grants, 316,000 to the House of Hope Drop-In Center for Homeless Youth. That's an example. And then let me see what else is on here. Rural Wisconsin, North and West Central, 441,000. They got money to deal with their homelessness problem. Milwaukee, COC, whatever this is, 46,000. Milwaukee County, my home, got 200. Got 700. Is that right? Milwaukee County, my home, looks like they got 700. Damn, I can't see. Hold on, y'all. Okay, Milwaukee County, my home, got $720,000. Milwaukee County, TRA, my home housing, got $3,903,000. Milwaukee County, Capuchin Housing got $126,000. Milwaukee County Mercy Housing got $336,000. Milwaukee County Share got $1,038,000. Milwaukee County something else, $993,000. Milwaukee County St. Anthony's, $540,000. So that's what I show in Milwaukee. The Asha Project, which a lot of people have heard of, $628,000. St. Catherine of Hope, $194,000. Veterans Gardens, $336,000. Down in Racine, Racine area got about $1.2 million. Dane County got about $6 million. So that $50 million didn't come just to Milwaukee and went to the entire state, both rural and urban communities. A lot of us don't think about homelessness in rural areas. But so, yeah, bro, there's an actual breakdown of where every dollar went of that $50 million award. Got another caller on the line. Let's get them in. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm running behind on you. What's going on with New Birth at Target? What did Target do to warrant the
protests? They
Yeah.
walked back canceled all of their DEI initiatives, supply diversity,
Okay, that's
hiring.
what that's all about. Okay, that's what that's all about. Okay. Well, I heard you say something else about the giving that money out, and you just said Brown County being the Fox Cities. But the Fox Cities is Brown County. The Fox Cities, the like De Pere, Green Bay, all of that shit. Little Fox Cities is running along the Fox Lake, coming out, run up and down the Fox River, coming out of the Bay, the Green Bay area. So I don't know I guess that was a double take. But if you look at where all that money went, the organizations, you named a couple organizations that I know of, black CEOs, look like they got a little bit of money, but the other folk got. And I need to get a list of that, because I'd like to go to some of those places and take some homeless people with me and see what kind of application that they put the people through And is this the money that these people are taking, these golden parachutes? See, people have to go out and actually investigate this stuff, because they probably done helped 7 people the whole time they done got that big old joy bundle of money.
So the money just started coming in. They haven't had the money in hand for a long amount of time. This was done.
Like what? How long?
Like it just happened this past year. And I don't know when the checks actually arrived. And we know that the Trump administration was trying to stop payments from even being made to people. It got awarded last year. But just like we know, you can get awarded something, but not get the money for 6 and 7 months later. So I don't even know when the money has been awarded, has actually been received. But this is all relatively brand new.
That's okay. It's okay. There's a lot of county programs out there. Some of them got some big bankrolls, and some of them need to cut some checks, Joe, to somebody. I mean, somebody that's doing something. Somebody, they need to disperse that money out. You can't give that kind of money out to individually people.
But again, this money was given out by the federal government to these specific organizations within these counties. So it wasn't like the county decided who was going to get all the money. The feds decided based on an application process. That's why I said over 7,000 organizations got the money nationwide.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that they've already received their proceeds.
They have not. We don't know that. That's what I'm telling you.
We don't know that. We do not know that.
Okay, so what are we arguing about, bro?
I'm not arguing. See, I'm asking a question.
What are we arguing about? I mean, you just want to have something to say, man. We don't even know what they did yet. We don't even know if they got the money yet, fam.
Honey, I'm asking you for some pertinent information so I can put my move down. I'm glad you pulled the data. I'm glad you pulled that up. Now, can I get it? It's funny. Right?
Oh, Representative Myers told me to tell you, or former State Rep Myers, she said, tell Meech, Brown County and the Fox Valley are different. Brown County is Green Bay.
Valley. You didn't say Fox Valley. You said Fox Cities.
Oh, okay. So Fox Cities, Keisha.
And tell her, why y'all always want to jump on a guy like me? You know why? Because y'all really adore me. So
you sound like Donald Trump. We adore you. We adore you.
Can you print that piece of paper out for me so I can pick it up from you, please?
Dang, I just deleted it. Okay. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, I'll print it up.
You can leave it at the desk. I sure appreciate it.
I'm glad I work for you now. Okay.
Now you doing something.
Bye, me.
Now you doing something.
Really? Am I?
Yes, I appreciate you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Stick around like I'm on his payroll. Can you print that and leave it for me?
How that document at the front desk?
Like, who you talking to? I don't work for you. Okay, let me take a second because y'all. El Salvador, who decides to reach out to the United States and say to Donald Trump, hey, if you're looking for some place to send your American prisoners that you deem violent people out of your country, we will take them over here in El Salvador. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced this on Monday that he had met with the Salvadorian president and that there had been a conversation that they would be willing to not only take U.S. citizens to put in their prisons, but they would also take illegal migrants who had come into the country, and we don't know which country to send them back to. We'll take them too. So if you got folks and you don't know if they should go back to Puerto Rico, Mexico, Venezuela, Haiti, wherever these people may have came from, or you got people who say, I've been in the country for 18 years. I don't even have a connection to those countries, that you're talking about. El Salvador's president has said, we will take them. Now, for a small fee, we'll take your prisoners, American citizens, and even though it's going to be small money for y'all, it's going to be big money for us. And, oh, wait. because I just want to give you a little backstory on the prisons in El Salvador. The State Department, this is the U.S. State Department, describes El Salvador's overcrowded prisons as harsh and dangerous. Its country's information webpage says, quote, in many facilities, provisions for sanitation, potable water, ventilation, temperature control, and lighting are inadequate or non-existent. El Salvador has lived under a state of emergency since March 2022, when the country's powerful street gangs went on a killing rampage. The president responded by suspending fundamental rights like access to lawyers, and the authorities have arrested more than 83,000 people in El Salvador with little or no due process. The president in El Salvador opened a massive new prison in 2023 with the capacity to hold 40,000 people. They have cut prisoners' meals down to only twice a day. If you are a prisoner in their prisons, you receive no visits. There is no programming to prepare you for re-entry. There is no workshops, no educational activities. You just doing time. It is considered one of the most dangerous countries in the world. And the country of El Salvador is the same size in terms of population as the state of Wisconsin. In fact, Wisconsin has more residents than the country of El Salvador. But you got 83,000 people that have been arrested in just the last year. And you have a U.S. official talking to a horrendous place like El Salvador in terms of the conditions for people that are incarcerated about we possibly could send American citizens, our most violent offenders, over here, which means if you work in family visits, you won't be getting those. Some of these places don't have indoor plumbing and toilets. And here's my thing. Who y'all think they were seeing? Who? Who was the violent offender? Somebody that killed somebody? Fentanyl dealer? Drug dealer? Who's the violent offender? Because I'm going to tell you who would be most likely to be ones going. People already texting. Black folks. Black folks. My bet is that the overwhelming majority of prisoners that they would send out of this country would be Black people. Way across to El Salvador, where don't nobody have an opportunity to check on them. Because I got a nephew that's in prison right now for murder. He shot and killed somebody that jumped out on him to kill him. As the district attorney said, he's not in jail for the first bullet because they deem that self-defense. He's in jail for the second bullet when he shot him while he was on the ground. Police do it every day. They go home. My nephew went to jail, and he's in jail for life. He was only like 19, 20 when this happened. So would they send my nephew to El Salvador because he was a violent criminal? What's the criteria? What's the criteria? Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I'm at work. I got a question.
Okay.
It's from my son, my 8-year-old son, and my 16-year-old stepdaughter.
All right.
They want to know, why are you not on at 3 p.m.? They miss you. They miss you.
First of all, tell them babies I said I love them and thank you so much. But yeah, when I went back to the afternoon show for a period of time, it was just because we had a program change. And I wanted to make sure, and the station did, that we had on-air personality that could help through the election cycle. And so I had even said when I started doing it that it was a short-term situation. So that was the deal. I just was doing it to help fill a void when we had a change in our lineup.
Every day I pick my son up from school, he like, is Michelle on today?
Oh my God.
Where is she?
That is so crazy. You gotta be.
I tell him,
what's his name?
He asks me every day, where's Michelle? Is she on?
Sometimes
he go on YouTube and find you on there.
Yeah, tell my guy that, yep, it was only temporary. But you know, somebody even asked me ironically yesterday, is there anything we can do to get you back on in the afternoon? So that's so funny.
We don't want to hear this music all evening, all 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Well, I mean, what, Tavis come on at what, 5? I think at 5.
Before Tavis is all music.
Well, look, if I got to start doing Facebook Live so the baby has somewhere to go, I'll look into it because I got the time right now.
All right. I'll let them know.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. I love that call. That was cool. All right. So.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those.
Yeah. But, you know, so I'm just saying that. See, now they even got started. We need that information.
No, look. Sure, I got a text too.
What's yours say? Look. Let me see. What's up? I ride this. I was just wondering if the 3 p.m. show on anymore or what. Hit me back. Be blessed. Oh my. Yeah. Somebody literally asked me yesterday about sponsoring that show. Like, what do we need to do? So, y'all, you know, somebody said my grandchildren missed you too, Michelle. That's crazy, y'all. Grandbabies. See, that's the one thing though. That why I love y'all so much, because y'all exposing these children to information, you planting them seeds early, and when they get to make their own choices about what they listen to, they gonna seek out a Roland Martin. They gonna seek out, you know, talk radio. They gonna understand it's more to the game than just music. So for the parents and the grandparents, man, I love y'all for making sure these babies is getting that level of exposure. All right, are you telling me I'm done?
Now it's time to say goodbye.
We're gonna have to talk about this ending 5 minutes early, miss. Because it just be a whole bunch of music playing for 5 minutes. Debo, I'm talking to you. This policy got to stop. I hear about it every day.
I tell you what, here's what we're gonna do going forward, Michelle.
Sense. Keith ain't even in the building.
Right, watch this though. Here's what we're gonna do going forward.
He ain't even in the building.
She just jabbed up.
I'm just saying.
Wait, here's the compromise. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we know we have Northwest Funeral Chaparral.
Carolyn told me to keep talking.
Keep talking. Listen, what? We know we have on Tuesdays and Thursdays we have Northwest, right?
Right.
But on Monday, Wednesday, roll.
Well, now you say it.
Yeah,
like the guitars and drums are playing right now.
Yeah.
Just stop your music.
Okay,
man.
stop it.
Just stop it.
Roll with it.
So yeah, because I need to work in one last story.
See, when it's only you and Keith, y'all kind of mesh together anyway. Y'all gonna, overlap however y'all do. Sometimes you stay behind. He'll walk in while you still on. So we can work that. Look, so that's cool.
My 14-year-old sons listen to you.
Wow.
That's great. See, that's that part.
Yeah.
That we gotta understand.
Yeah. It's very important.
We building listenership.
Yeah. For the future.
But
my wife even listens, Michelle, and she can't stand talk. But you don't make talk radio, and that's the difference. Your delivery is totally different than others.
I appreciate it. So let me do this since you have graced me with.
Keith walks right in like, I'm in the building.
I'm in the building now. He been carrying his Nike purse around, y'all. I'm sick of him. Somebody that bought him a bag. Now everywhere we go, we gotta see his little purse. I'm in the building now. So let me do this real quick before I get out of here, because I have not had a chance to talk about it, and I really need more time. But you
want to take this call first?
It's a caller. Okay, let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle. My name is William Smith, and I lived in Milwaukee, and I relocated to Casa Grande, Arizona. My Alexa is picking you up, but my wife Alexa down here in Casa Grande won't pick you up.
Really?
I'm so glad to be able to listen to you in the morning. I've been trying. I said, God, let me try Alexa, because I couldn't get you on the radio.
Yeah,
because my Alexa is able to pick you up.
Yeah, because my mom didn't listen to the show on Alexa. So yeah. Thank you so much, bruh, for letting us know. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear your voice again,
That's cool, Mr. Smith. I appreciate you and your wife.
All right, and keep giving us good information, in Milwaukee there, because I miss Milwaukee, but I can't live there anymore,
All right. Well, y'all be safe. Check in with us occasionally, okay?
Okay, Michelle.
All right now. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, have a good day.
Okay, you too. Hey, we on Alexa. Yeah, my mom listened on Alexa. Keisha mama, I call her mom as soon as she get up. Alexa. WNOV. Alexa. But let me say this real quick, since I got 2 whole extra minutes.
You advocated for him, and we deliver.
You know what? You using up my minutes, reclaiming my time. Boy, if you don't turn that music down, I can't stand this. Oh my God, I need a new job.
I like that bass player.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't have time to get into it, but y'all know how Donald Trump was talking about the water had been turned off in California by the officials, and he was going to turn it back on. Did y'all hear that this dude went to an area that was not near the fires and forced them to open their reservoirs? 2 billion gallons of water was surged into this community in 3 days. He ended up dang near flooding the community. The water was just wasted. They opened the dams, the Army Corps of Engineers, and the president ordered the Army Corps of Engineers to open these dams in an area that was not impacted by the fires. And they didn't even give the city enough notice to deal with it, to let people, homeowners and people in the community know what was getting ready to happen. So 2 billion gallons. How much water, Jesus, is 2 billion gallons? This man is a whole behind idiot. And this, say it again, Keith. Where you get your mic?
So
y'all got to move that screen from. Well, I gotta get out his way so he can get over here.
It's the wet season, so and then they had a front that came through, so they're worried about flooding.
Wow!
But he had an issue with the water policy for the rich people out there because California is trying to conserve water.
Yeah, they want to be able to water their grass.
Right, they want to be able to water their grass. Yep.
So I just had to say that. Like, you're not listening to the experts. You don't know what you're talking about. 2 billion gallons of water, Jesus.
So is this true? Let me ask you guys, because I know you guys probably know, but they said that that the area that was hit hard in California was mainly black. It was black homers.
Well, no, Altadena is
yeah,
black.
Altadena, yeah.
But there was it was like a lot of areas. Altadena was one pocket though.
So they said that Trump didn't even go visit that area though. He
didn't. No.
Wow.
No. I mean, and I don't think anybody should be surprised. That's why I say all these black people that keep trying to elevate and ride with this dude, like
we
y'all.
We got a campaign that we're launching, Michelle. That you'll certainly be knowing more about it in the coming days. We have a meeting today with Kathy Hughes. There is a fundraiser of sorts that WNOV is proud to be a part of for the folks who lost their homes out there. It's totally African American driven, but we'll be telling you more about it. I can't really release all of it today because I don't really have all the specifics, but WNOV is going to play a role in trying to help those folks get their lives back on track.
Well, that's cool. I know I talked about when I first got back from my NAACP meeting that one of my colleagues at the NAACP, her family lives in Altadena. She's from Altadena, was raised there, and that there are actual GoFundMe accounts that they have set up as a black community to be able to help, because a lot of these people were uninsured because insurance companies had begun to cancel them. And so they were just kind of trusting God and on a prayer, we'll be all right. And then the fire comes and they lose everything. So I am looking forward to that. Thank you so much for that information. One quick caller. Let's get them in before I get out of here. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to give you the criteria for those prisoners going to Ecuador.
Yes.
Remember, you said what's the criteria?
Uh-huh.
Any non-white.
Yeah, basically. I'm sure.
Any non-white. You ain't hear them talking about the criminals coming from Europe.
Right.
You know, they're talking about the people of color that are coming in. And yeah, some of them are criminals, but I would say 90% of them are decent people.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like our American citizens, though, that are incarcerated, that they want to send potentially to a foreign country, and that they actually in real conversation about this.
But it won't be a white one.
No, that's why I said I think the Black community, Black Americans who are incarcerated, if they are able to execute this foolishness, I'm saying it's going to be Black folks that's going to bear the brunt of being sent out of this country and to another country.
And they get lost to the system too.
And it's people that need to think about that. While they was complaining about, I see you, when they was complaining about, you know, what Kamala Harris may have done or didn't do, and Joe Biden with the prisons. Yeah, for the ones that's in prison, I bet you weren't gonna be expecting them to be flown out of the country for y'all to never see them again while they serving their time.
Right, and just like the Palestinians never expected for Trump to say level Gaza so we can build resorts with Netanyahu.
You know what?
Family, and we're gonna take all that.
I can't even get to it today. I'm gonna get to it tomorrow. But them uncommitted people and that Muslim man from Michigan who was bragging about how we put Trump over.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to talk to him so bad today. Okay, I gotta go. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you, family. Thank you, Mr. Rideout, for your Black History Fact sponsored by AJ.
Know your
Liquor.
history.
He was a black man.
Did you hear his Black History Fact for this morning?
Oh man, we're running back.
Debo, thank you for your gracious minutes.
Thank you.
Hey, Keith just look like this is a shame.
Because it's sad. The whole thing is sad.
Much obliged.
All right, family.
Much obliged.
We out. Peace.
Going on in here, girl.